Hello and welcome to another episode of David Rides a Trike. I'm David, I'm riding a trike. If this is your first time watching one of my videos, welcome. I try to provide a little motivation to people, especially those with chronic illnesses or disabilities, to get outside and do something fun. Why? Because it can be therapeutic and doing something fun is fun. Of course, you should only engage in any kind of exercise if you're given permission by your doctor. Personally, I do fit into that category. I was diagnosed as a type 1 diabetic when I was 1.5 years old. I've had 3 organ transplants, stage 3 cancer. I'm borderline legally blind. I've had a bunch of weird infections, one that almost proved fatal. I've had more surgeries than I can count, and a bunch of others that I've already forgotten by now. So today, when I started out, the temperature was 34 degrees, and when the temperature gets to be about 50 or lower, my hands become frigid within just a few minutes. It's mainly a result of the diabetes, and even though I am no longer a diabetic, it is the gift that keeps on giving. Along with that, several people have commented and contacted me about the gloves that I wear. So I figured I'd do my first product review. For years, since I've had this problem with my hands, have been looking for a pair of gloves or mittens, something that would keep my hands warm. I tried traditional gloves, all kinds of insulation and whatnot. Mittens, glittens, which are a combination of gloves and mittens. I've tried them with insulating liners. None of them did any good. My hands would still get ice cold within 5 minutes tops. I also tried those chemical warmers that go into the glove, and those kind of worked, but they don't keep your fingers warm, or at least didn't keep my fingers warm. And hang on one second. On your left, hello. They didn't keep my fingers warm, and they were uncomfortable. And especially when riding the trike, they would sit right in the middle of my palm, which was holding the handlebar, and it made it uncomfortable. Then it occurred to me that I was aware that there were electric, and by electric I mean battery operated, socks to keep your feet warm. And I figured there's got to be the same thing for gloves. So I fired up the Google machine, and sure enough, there were lots of battery operated gloves out there. I ordered a pair, and they really didn't do much good. So I returned them, and I bought this pair. These are made by a company called Wild Yak, and they weren't cheap. I bought them last year. They were about 125 bucks, although I think they're down to about 100 now. Anyway, they have 3 settings, low, medium, and high, and you just hold down this little button, and you hold it down for about 3 seconds till they turn on, and then you could toggle through the temperatures by hitting that little button. Hello. And it goes through the low, medium, and high. Typically, I keep mine on medium. That seems to do a good job unless it's really cold. And if it's that cold, I'm probably not riding, but I still walk the dog. But most of the time they're on medium. The battery life is pretty good. They last anywhere from about 2 hours to about 4 hours max, depending, of course, on the temperature you have them on. On medium, where I usually keep them, they last about 2 hours, 45 minutes, or 3 hours, somewhere in that range. And I do always carry an extra pair with me, just in case. I'm out longer than that. Don't want to get stuck without power for them, because then they're useless. So that's it for, oh, I also want to say that they are bulky. It's hard to do anything that requires any real dexterity when you have them on. But for my purposes, shifting gears on this, applying the brakes, and steering, they're absolutely fine. Really, the only downside is they block my view of my bike computer, but that's easily alleviated by moving my hand. So really not a factor. That is it. I will put a link right here if you're interested in these gloves. As I said, I would suggest, if you were to buy them, to get an extra pair of batteries. And that's it for my first product review. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what you think. As always, please like, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps my channel when you do. And I will see you on the next ride. Bye-bye.